Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2, all done at Anfield. Arsenal 2-0 down at half-time, came back to draw 2-2. But there are some talking points that we need to get into. Mikel Arteta, you have some explaining to do. Arne Slot, whatever. I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. If you're new to the show, like, subscribe, and turn that notification on. Road to 100,000 subscribers, and I keep on saying this, 85% now. My God, it's jumping up. Who you who watch, do not subscribe to the show. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let's go. Share it to 10 people along your way. Okay, Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2 at Anfield. Final game of the season for Arsenal against a top 6 team, and yet still unbeaten. Yes, that's right. Still unbeaten. Mikel Merino at the end of towards the end of the second half gets sent off. Okay, no big deal. And the funny thing is, when you watch this game, there was no edge of emotion for me. When Arsenal went 2-0 down so quickly in the first half, I had no emotion. I had no anger. I really and truly didn't, because Arsenal weren't playing for anything. Liverpool weren't playing for anything. Arsenal are in pole position to finish second in the Premier League. My brother was going off. He was going mad. My sister's going off. My friend Jonathan, he was silent as usual, because their thoughts are Arsenal are just playing shit. And I'm like, well, it's towards the end of the season. What do you expect? What are you expecting miracles for when there's nothing really and truly to play for? But what I liked in the second half is that Arsenal came out on a charge. Liverpool literally just sat back and just chilled more than anything else. So Arsenal just glued themselves back into the game, taking shots. And believe it or not, they was taking shots like their life depended on it. And in the first half, they weren't taking shots at all whatsoever. And that part to me was annoying as anything. Why weren't you shooting when you had the opportunity to do so? Again, what I said in my show today, if you watched it, with a show about, Martin Zubimendi on his way to Arsenal, as well as Victor Gyökeres and potentially a Liam Delap. Thomas Partey is slow. He dwells on the ball. You saw it today. Yet again, Thomas Partey, slow, 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 slow. Martin Odegaard looked okay. That wasn't too bad. I didn't see the point in playing Bukayo Saka today whatsoever. Why not give the minutes to Ethan Nwaneri and then give Raheem Sterling 10 minutes to go, some chump minutes? Also, I was gutted to see when he'd done the substitutions in the second half, seeing Kieran Tierney come on, seeing Calafiori come on, seeing Zinchenko come on. I'm like, where is Ethan Nwaneri? Why don't you give this boy some minutes? We're talking about minutes. Did you see when Trent come on? Did you see that the Anfield crowd this time? It was a mixed reception, really and truly, wasn't it? It was half boo, half clapping. And it kind of summed up Trent's exit from Anfield. They're singing one Conor Bradley, and you got Conor Bradley on the bench looking pissed for coming off. And then you got Trent coming on. He wasn't actually too pleased to come on. I think he must have felt it in his stomach, like, this is not going to be good. He came on, heard the booze, and I think that might hurt him a bit more. But at the same time, I'm thinking that was him. I bet in his head, he was like doing that in his head. Because what you've given to the club, and you decide for your future, for your best of your career, is to leave and go for something bigger and better. That's what he's done. But it's as fans, we're fickle as anything, and we're just happy just to say, yo, I'm off. But it is what it is. But back to Arsenal. It was painful. But it's annoying to see that they can play like this, down, 2-0 down, and they can get themselves back into the game 2-2. And I give them all credit for it. You can say what you want about Liverpool, they're on the beach now, but they're still playing. They still played like their hearts depended on it in the first half. Arsenal were just a bit lackluster. Saliba, we got to talk about Saliba. They're talking about big casualties at Arsenal in order to sign a striker or rebuild a team. Okay, well, I think you know what I'm about to say, and it may go against the nature. And this was an idea from my younger brother who said this, and Jonathan as well. I'm ready to cash in, maybe get some peas for Saliba. I mean, what's your thoughts on that one? Would you now cash in on Saliba the way he's looking, or is it just the same thing about with Martin Odegaard? Great players do dip in form. They really, truly do. There's 2 games to go, Newcastle and Southampton. Arsenal just got to beat Newcastle, and that's it. Second place is done, secured, done. Cool. Play everyone as a reserve on against Southampton away from home. But Saliba is looking shaky. He's doing some suspect things. when we was labelling Kivior as a suspect defender, Kivior looks more solid than Saliba does at this moment in time. I'm saying at this moment, I'm not saying overall. But maybe it's just because Gabriel's not there, Saliba's just thinking, oh, whatever, let's just get this season done. But clearly there's something up with Saliba because it's not just today we're talking about. We're talking about maybe 6 games on a trot now where he is just making silly errors. And maybe this is why Deschamps wasn't picking him in the first place, but now he's an undroppable player. But something's up with Saliba. Is it the contract? Is it the fact that maybe he wants to go to Real Madrid? We won't know. But Martin Odegaard looked okay today. His shot in the second half that was saved by Addison, tipped onto the post. And who was there? Yep. The guy who I said, just don't mock me because I said Mikel Merino is actually a decent player. He just doesn't do the things that's what you want him to do. But him getting sent off today, it was very robotic. Very robotic the way he moved. He is a bit slow on that part. He's a bit of a Terminator movement, isn't he? Just, very robotic. But the fact that he was there today to tap in the equaliser with a nice diving header from the shot from a Martin Odegaard. And talking about Martinelli, because he's on my lips, the amount of runs that he was doing, and great header, by the way, for him to score the goal, but the amount of runs that he was doing was impressive. The cut-in runs that he was doing and the balls just weren't going into him was frustrating. And that worries me now that we're going to get a striker up front and they make runs like that and the ball doesn't come through from a Martin Odegaard or a Thomas Partey who's on the pitch or a Declan Rice. It's going to be wasted. There was one clear run that Martinelli done, beat the offside trap, and Odegaard had the ball and didn't even bother looking up to try and pass it to him. Maybe that's because we just don't play that way. But we need to start playing that way and start using the weapons that we have in order to be better for next season. Okay. But anyway, there's nothing much more to really say about the game because it was just a runaround, really and truly, wasn't it? But I'm tying out here for TK24 Sports. I really want to hear your thoughts on this game today. What was your initial impressions? What do we need to improve on? And who would you like to see coming in? Now there's Martin Zubimendi. He's coming in, even though you can't sign him right now because the transfer window's not open. Vincent Gyökeres, his backside is coming in. Let's not pretend to say, I'll have to wait until I see him try and pull the shirt up and shit. Come on, wake up. Zubimendi's coming in. Gyökeres is on his way in. Just who's the left back going to be? The left winger and also the goalkeeper, which I think we know is going to be Juan Garcia more than likely. Too much gossip around his name. Too much gossip. Newcastle won today against Chelsea. Man United lost again, and Spurs lost again. Those teams are absolutely pathetic. They are. In the Europa League final, and Arsenal fans are saying this is embarrassing. What's embarrassing? What's embarrassing? If either one of those two teams win the Europa League, I'm still not gonna be like, okay, cool, yeah, whatever. You're 16th, 17th in the league, and okay, you won a trophy. Congratulations to you. You're in the Champions League, yeah. Congratulations to you. But you haven't had a better season. You have not had a better season. It's like when Arsenal finished 8th and they won the FA Cup. People still said, "Oh, listen, why we won the FA Cup, but it's still not a good season." And we finished 8th. Put it in context. We finished 8th. They're finishing 16th, 17th, and we're saying it's embarrassing. Anyway, comments below. Let me know. I'm tying out here for TK24 Sports.